As we slowly take on the week, it is a beautiful Tuesday, and we couldn't be more excited to bring you today's episode of Smell the Coffee. We have some bizarre news, some celebrity news, and everything that you love about Smell the Coffee with your two favorite girls, Diana Master and Aina Riza Kwayo. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
How you doing? So I was in the car this morning and I heard Shaquan and NSK discussing the new, I don't want to call it a smoking ban, but the new restrictions around smoking.
In Namibia?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, it's a whole bunch of rules that the city of Windhoek released, saying that even in public spaces and workplaces, people shouldn't smoke. If you're at home, it shouldn't be 2 meters, whatever. I think you can go on City of Windhoek's website and you can find the rules exactly as they state them. So there were people, I think Shaquan was actually the one that was like, no, I agree with this.
Even I agree,
yes,
without even knowing the full context.
Yes, I agree because, and this includes everything, cigars, cigarettes, vapes, habli, everything. Because, like I say, especially the people who smoke, vape, the people who vape, they are so inconsiderate. Just, even the Yango driver was complaining because he's like, people just come into the car and they start vaping.
And without even asking, can I vape?
Do you mind?
Yeah, do you mind? It's just like, it's whatever.
It's whatever. So even when I'm with my daughter, you'll find just, and it's like, there's a literal child here. And even I mind because I don't want to smell like strawberry watermelon, but you're just there. People are so inconsiderate. So I definitely agree with this. If you want to smoke, do it in the comfort of your house. If you're out at a restaurant, like Shaquan was saying, her and her boyfriend or her partner had to leave the restaurant because people were just smoking. So they had to take away their food and go eat elsewhere because they just couldn't stand the smoke. So yes, designated smoking areas, perfect. We won't get there. We won't go there because we mind the smoke. So the same way they're designated smoking areas, you guys should respect that not all of us are smokers.
Non-smoking zones.
Like, please. So yeah, that's my morning.
I think, I wonder what happens then at establishments like clubs or like restaurants who have made it their culture to introduce habli. So what happens?
I think then there would need to be a designated smoking area where it's literally just that area, not the common eating area. You understand?
So like, if you want to go and smoke, go to this area.
Go to this area.
But what about the club? Because like...
I wonder.
Yeah, you are all together. You can't say, okay, smokers go this side, otherwise you lose customers. People who are harbling, it's usually everyone just in togetherness.
What if you make the whole thing a smoking area? You basically make everything the smoking area, and then you just, so if you make everything the smoking area, then those that mind must just leave.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you mind the smokers, if you don't like the fact that people smoke at the club, just don't go.
Just don't go. Shouldn't it be the same if you don't like the fact that people are harbling and vaping at the restaurant?
No, a restaurant is different because it's
just
an eating
order order your food and go eat elsewhere.
And we want to eat with our kids. We want to go out with our kids.
Can't you eat at home?
No, we want to eat at the restaurant. Why should we eat at home?
I hear you.
Restaurants, I think, should have designated smoking areas because, again, we can't ignore the fact that there are people that smoke.
Yes.
So let's just have a designated area in the restaurants. At the club, I feel it's a different scenario. It's a different situation because everyone in the club, well, not everyone, but most people in the club are smoking habli.
Yeah.
So if you mind, then just stay.
Majority of them don't mind.
They don't mind. So if you mind,
but
then
that's
just
an assumption also.
It's an assumption. But if you mind, then just stay home. That's why clubs are not really my scene because everywhere you just and it's like, but colleagues, like, but I can't even complain because that's the establishment.
Yeah.
But I think restaurants and all of that, then definitely the ban should, even at workplaces. But anyway, it is what it is. Nevertheless, right after this, we are bringing you the world's oldest baby. If you're curious as to what that means, stick around. You'll find out right after this.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Now getting into our top stories. What if I told you the world's oldest baby was just born? Yes, that's right. In a story,
this world is so weird. What?
There's a lot going on.
Okay.
In a story that blends science, faith, love, and a whole lot of hope, a couple in Ohio just welcomed a healthy baby boy into the world from an embryo that was frozen over 31 years ago. Lindsay and Tim Pierce had been battling infertility for years. Desperate to start a family, they turned to embryo adoption, a lesser known but powerful process where families can adopt leftover embryos donated by other couples. Their son, born just this past Sunday, developed from an embryo that had been frozen since 1994. That's 11,148 days in the deep freeze, a world record according to their doctor. This embryo wasn't just a leftover, it was a little hope, as Linda Archard, now 62, puts it. She created the embryos during her own IVF journey in the 90s, hoping to grow her family, but life took a different turn. After giving birth to a daughter, divorce shifted everything, and the remaining embryos remained frozen. As years turned into decades, Archard wrestled with guilt. What do you do with frozen embryos you no longer plan to use but believe are lives waiting to be lived? Eventually, she discovered Snowflakes, a Christian adoption agency that connects embryo donors with hopeful parents. There, she found the Pierces, and something in her said, this is it. It wasn't easy. Archard had to dig through dusty paper records and reconnect with her original doctor in Oregon. The embryos were shipped cross-country to the clinic in Tennessee that refuses to discard frozen embryos, no matter how old they are. One of the three embryos sent, one didn't survive the thaw, two were implanted, and one little fighter held on, and now that baby is here. For Archard, it's a bittersweet joy. She admits she wishes she could have raised the child herself, but now she's holding on to the hope of photos, updates, and maybe one day a chance to meet him.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Wait, so the baby is born?
The baby is born. So basically, they froze this embryo back in 1994, right? Because this lady was going through her infertility journey.
Right.
So, yeah. And then after divorce, she had her baby. And then she obviously wanted a bigger family, but then divorce, stopped that in the tracks. So they just kept the embryo frozen. And then now, this other couple is basically struggling with infertility as well. And then she said, okay, you know what? Well, there's a frozen embryo. But there were three, so let's see what happens. And then boom, like 1994. That was 31 years ago.
This is definitely the world's oldest baby.
The world's oldest baby. This baby is older than both of us, Chumi. Like,
I don't know why this is funny. It shouldn't be funny, but
for me, it's just the wonder and awe of science. Because how can you keep an embryo frozen for 31 years?
Bruh.
And it manages to grow
Now you
into
understand
life.
why some people believe in science and science
Yeah,
only.
because
science has been proving us
Yeah.
right all along. Things
Yeah.
are happening in science, discoveries, things that you would think are humanly impossible
Yes.
are becoming more and more possible with the day.
With the day, you know how I found out about the story? Someone commented and said, I went to a psychic and this psychic told me I was going to be killed by a 30-year-old man in his 60s. I laughed at it because I didn't understand what that meant. But now that I'm seeing this, I'm like, wait a minute. So basically, because technically this baby would be 60. But then their age is 30. They're 60 because they were created 60 years ago. But they were only born 30 years ago. So it was like, all of a sudden, it's not funny anymore because I'm like, it's possible.
Science, math.
Science, math, women in STEM, yes.
Moving over to our next story. A woman who was reported missing while heading to a midnight prayer service at a church in Newtown, Johannesburg, has been found alive, and this has brought so much relief to her family and community. Her name is Mbalenhle Nkomo, a resident of Windmill Park in Ekurhuleni, who was allegedly abducted by unknown men Friday night, and this sparked widespread concerns across social media over the weekend. According to her husband, Sandile Nkomo, Mbalenhle was found on Sunday afternoon after being abandoned by her alleged kidnappers at a petrol station. She recounted her harrowing ordeal, claiming the abductees took her after mistakenly targeting her vehicle, believing it belonged to someone else. She alleges that the abductors panicked when they couldn't find the car tracker. They drove from Johannesburg to KwaZulu-Natal on Saturday and returned Sunday morning, Sandile told local media. Now, the kidnappers reportedly left her and her car behind after realizing their error. Mbalenhle was shaken but unharmed, though she had not eaten since Friday. Her safe return has been met with gratitude, her husband expressing relief while noting that police are examining the vehicle for fingerprints as part of an ongoing investigations. Now, authorities also confirmed the car was captured on the highway cameras on the N3 near Ladysmith on Saturday morning. The incident has now gained significant attention online, which underscores ongoing concerns about safety of women in South Africa, where kidnappings have surged in recent years. So this story was trending on Twitter. Some people obviously believe her that she was kidnapped. Others believe that she went off just to live her best life. Apparently, because she returned Saturday morning.
Oh, so she had gone
people
to
are poking holes in her
her story.
Yeah, her testimony and. But all I can say is that I'm glad that there has been a case of kidnapping that did not turn out to be worse.
To be as tragic,
Yes.
All I can say is, if it is true, God's really got her back.
Yes.
I mean, she was going for prayer service after all, but also it's very bizarre. Imagine being kidnapped and they're like, oh no, you're actually not who we want. Oh, you can go.
Yes.
Like, so who did you want and why do you want them? Like, it's very strange.
It's so strange.
But like you're saying, I think if it is true, then we have to be grateful that it wasn't as tragic. It didn't end in a tragedy. So yeah, guys, but also the growing number of people, or I don't want to call them victims, but there are people that are making up such stories, especially to get, not even to get clout, for ransom. For example, you and I kidnap me, and then you tell my mom, no, Dana has been kidnapped, and they want this much money.
People are doing such things.
Yo, guys, we are living in dangerous times. Nevertheless, that brings us to the end of our top stories. We'll be right back right after this as we get into our guest segment.
Rolling.
I know that any production that you have your name on is going to absolutely wow the audience. What do you think makes this particular one so unique?
Well, it's the first queer play. I've done queer plays before with women. This is my first queer play with men. And this, I know, is the first queer play in Namibia. And I'm so proud of it because we're going, and it's also about mental health. So we're touching a lot of really sensitive issues. And the only way I can talk about it is through production. And I'm very proud that this is looking at those very sensitive issues in a very, very beautiful way. Galilee's voice is world class. Othello is probably the strongest up-and-coming young actor I've worked with. He's like a sponge, and he's just so beautiful to look at, and he's just strong actor. He's got so much potential, Othello. It's just, yeah.
Speaking of the opera in Namibia, we do hear of it here and then, but it's not as frequent. Do you think that we need more plays like this?
Yeah, look, opera is a very look. If you look at the triangle of performing arts, the opera is that huge big cherry on top, and that cherry has to have all those other apexes coming to it. So a big opera can take up to 10 years to write, develop the costumes, and even just doing a well-known opera like Madame Butterfly. It's tricky with the voices and the depth. We have little depth in Namibia. We have world-class people, but we don't have the depth. There's one best person of everything in Namibia, but we don't have 10 of them. So we could look, we've just done a little children's opera. I did that with Eslon about a warthog, and that was just completely charming. So he's written a beautiful little fairy tale. Yeah, look, it's music theatre, and that's my passion. I think music theatre is the most magic theatre of all the theatre genres, actually.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It's the most magical experience, for sure. I do have to agree. And I have to say, I would want to see more of that on the Namibian stages, but we are getting there with plays such as this one.
Yeah. And I just celebrated my 40 years of Fabulous, where it was a retrospective of all my work. It was just extraordinary because we've had such a hiatus after COVID. Theatre just slumped, and I was slumping. Ernst and Lisa and Adil and Hamish, I said, I really would love to do a retrospective of my work. And they said, right, we'll do it for you. And I had a call out on social media for anyone who's been in a Sandy Rudd production. And I thought 10, 12 people would pitch. We put 10 chairs out, and 60 people came. And it was probably the best night of my life. I was being reaffirmed. It was just, people are hungry for theatre again. We've got to, and our hunger has to get the audiences coming back again. And it was a wonderful experience, celebrating 40 years of Namibian theatre with all the actors. It was perfect.
And you deserve to be celebrated. You are a legend.
Wow. Listen, I'm the one-off. So, I'm talking about the one-off. And it's what makes Namibia completely unique. Because when you're one-off, you have incredible opportunities to have a real varied choice of genres. So I can do musicals. I did the independent celebrations. I've done general based violence. What's it?
Gender-based violence.
GBV. What's it?
GBV.
I've done GBV and Shebeens and Caribib and Yusakos, and so from tiny little shows in Shebeens to the independent stadium to this hall, the school hall, to the NTN and my little theatre school. So, boy, we're lucky in Namibia because we're not put in little boxes to be what I know. If I lived in any other town, city, I would probably just have to focus on maybe children's theatre, music theatre, but yeah, it's great.
40 years in the industry. Could you talk about some of the evolution that you've seen in Namibian theatre over the years?
Well, before independence, I did the first show with people of colour on the stage. I had to get permission from all the different government, all the different ethnic departments, to get written permission for them to be on the stage. So I'm quite proud of that small beginning. And I've just watched the industry blossom. When the Queen came, we couldn't find a decent band, or I don't know who the organisers were, but honestly, that poor old band, all they could sing, Queen, "Oh, Queen, Queen, oh, Queen." And the Queen was not amused. But now, boy, if the Queen came, we would just have the most magnificent artists, Gaza, Lisa Ellis. It would, boy, it's been such a privilege watching the industry really grow, and on the fine art side and the music side, and the theatres. The theatre was flourishing. We just have to get theatre back, because it is the most beautiful, immediate medium of art, in my opinion. It's because it's all embracing, it's teamwork, it's just the fusion of all the elements coming together, and it's just an exciting process.
It's a very fulfilling process,
It's
I have
beautiful,
to say.
beautiful.
On a final note, what advice do you have for any young playwrights, actors, directors, what have you, that want to be, especially in the theatre industry?
Okay, I'm going to go back one step back. I want to talk directly to the parents who are watching this, because children, every single person on this earth has been given a talent, and I believe that completely. And your talent starts coming out as a child. So if you're kicking a ball, you will be a sports person, football. If you're singing in the brush in the bathroom, you're a singer. If you're drawing in the sand with a pencil, you are an artist. So, guys, parents, your children have been given a gift by you, by giving birth to these beautiful people. Do not ignore the talent. Now I come back to the talent now, and I can't bear it when people say, well, art is a hobby. They say, get an accounting degree and you can do your theatre on the side. It's nonsense. If you're an artist, you're an artist, you're an artist. And if you know you're an artist and you know you're creative, it's only you. If you don't believe in yourself and have your own ego to push yourself, darlings, it's a waste of your talent. And it's believing in yourself, and believing in yourself is small steps. So if you want to make a movie, make it on your cell phone. Get your friends around. You like what you're doing, people like what you're doing. If you read poetry, go to poetry evenings. The big step in life is doing it. The first time you do it will be better. The second time, the third, fourth, until eventually you've got a whole body of work that gives you the confidence to be. Follow your dream, follow your heart. You know what you want to do. Everyone knows what they can do and want to do. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. That was so inspirational. And I mean, this just means a lot coming from you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Pleasure. Good luck, guys. We appreciate your supporting the arts. This is the beginning of getting us all back again. Thank you so much.
All right, you've heard it from the legend herself.
Oh, God, that's such a...
Well, all's well that ends well. Thank you for joining us for today's edition of Smell the Coffee. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place.